It's looking more and more likely that Cody Bellinger is going to sign with the Blue Jays. A lot of reports are out there. So, what does this mean for the Jays outfield situation? We'll break that down and much more on Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside co-host Nick Gosse. Got a lot to get into today, a lot of Cody Bellinger rumors. But first, I want to thank you all for helping us hit 3K subscribers. Support has been unreal. We couldn't have done it without you guys.
Yeah, it's unbelievable to say we hit 3K. It feels like just yesterday we hit 2K. Quick reminder, 84.8% of you guys who are watching are not subscribed. So if you enjoy the daily content, hitting the subscribe button would mean a lot to us. And the support's been unbelievable, and it means the world. So let's get into this crazy video. Lots of reports dropped today. Twitterverse, Blue Jays fans are going crazy out there. I'll pop up the report that dropped at around noon my time, so around 10:30 Eastern. Source: Jays reached out to Cody Bellinger camp to express interest after he was non-tendered. The Jays' interest was expected based on their prior trade conversations with the Dodgers. So that dropped, and Jays fans out there were saying, okay, maybe this Cody Bellinger stuff is getting a bit serious. And then a few hours later, this dropped. Expect to see the Blue Jays sign Cody Bellinger to a multi-year deal in the coming days. This is from Shane Sini. Shane Sini is a guy on Twitter who broke the John Schneider contract and the details to it, I believe, like 2 or 3 days early. So he's 1 for 1 so far. And then followed up by that was a Baboa bomb saying the same thing. Cody Bellinger to the Blue Jays on multi-year deal per source, opt-outs included, which makes a lot of sense. I'll get your first opinions on that, Peter, before I get into the final report that I think Ken Rosenthal put out.
I don't know the exact term that it's going to be. I'm thinking more of a one year deal, 1 year prove it deal for Cody Bellinger. So maybe a 2 year, 16 to $20 million range. So 10 million a year, I guess. And with an opt out in the second season. Yes, he's dealt with a couple of shoulder issues the past couple of years. So I think he'll look to reestablish himself at the plate, show not maybe that MVP Bellinger that we saw in 2020, but I definitely think it's possible that we see a revitalized Cody Bellinger if he gets a change of scenery.
Yeah, and that's the big question that everyone out there is talking about is, will he bounce back? But the good thing about Bellinger is that he has his glove no matter what. Obviously, his shoulder injury has hindered his arm strength a little bit, but he's phenomenal at reads. He's phenomenal at all that. And touching on the point that you made, Shane Sini replied to this tweet saying that it's looking like you said, a 1+1. So I'm assuming probably like a 1 year, $8 million deal with a player option the following year. And it's looking like 2 years, 16 million is the range that they are looking to go for. So at that price, you can't really go wrong. The question is, does this eliminate us from the Brandon Nimmo or other players' potential trades? And what are your thoughts on that? I don't know. You'd think it wouldn't, but it depends on the playing time, because obviously we'd have 3 outfielders then.
Yeah, well, you always need 4 outfielders. You can't go through 162 games with 3 outfielders. It just doesn't work. They got rid of Tapia, they got rid of Zimmer, and I mean, yeah, you still have Lourdes Gurriel, you still have George Springer, but apart from that, I mean, you don't have much depth on your major league roster. And the Jays, it's been well documented. They need left-handed bats, and they need good left-handed bats to kind of break up that lineup and give a little bit of leeway to the guys like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette and George Springer. So you kind of got to break it up there. You got to throw a left-handed bat in between all those power hitters. So if you get a guy like Cody Bellinger, you're banking on him having a bounce back season. And I don't know if you can necessarily gamble like that. I don't know if you want to have him as your everyday center fielder and just hopes he figures it out there. But I don't think it takes them out of the Nimmo sweepstakes if the price tag is under 10 million. I think they're still in on Brandon Nimmo if they do that, and they have an option. Cody Bellinger's versatile. He can play first base. He can play all 3 outfield positions. So I don't think it takes him out of it. No.
Yeah, that's a good point. First base, he can DH as well, obviously. And the thing that I've been reading in the reports, and the consensus seems to be that the team that he ends up signing with, assuming it's the Jays at this point, he's not looking to be a 4th outfielder. He's looking to be a starter, which is obviously makes sense, and it's something that you called about a week ago when talking about potential targets, and which makes tons of sense. Why would he want to be a 4th outfielder when he won't be able to have a bounce back contract year? But I agree with you. I think it doesn't take us out of the Nimmo stakes. Maybe a subsequent move would be made. Maybe they're thinking about trading Lourdes, or maybe George Springer's health is a bigger concern than we thought, and he DHs more than not. But I'll pop up this report by I think it was Ken Rosenthal, but yeah, Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic. Basically, just discussing the situation here. So it says agent Scott Boras tells The Athletic that he's already received multi-year offers for Bellinger. However, pointing to Bellinger's age, Boras suggested that he and Bellinger most likely don't want a multi-year contract. And of course, John Morrissey's tweet suggested the Jays are among teams interested. Now, obviously, the couple of reports said multi-year. However, a couple of them corrected themselves saying a 1+1. And technically a 1+1 is a multi-year, but I think the 1+1 is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, and if you do sign him to a 1-year deal, just like the Jays did with Marcus Semien, who was a couple years removed from top 3 MVP finish, you take him in, sign him to a 1-year prove it deal after a down year, then he gets 200 plus million in free agency. I don't know if that's going to happen with Cody Bellinger, but it's definitely something to look at. The Jays have a track record of taking guys that have had down years and kind of turning them around the next following season. So that could be another bargaining point that the Jays have in contract negotiations with Cody Bellinger. But I definitely think it's an addition that they should look towards. He's a solid defender, like you said, a Gold Glove caliber defender. His arm's not as good as it used to be because of the shoulder issues, but I honestly think those shoulder problems were really hurting him at the plate too. So he's not a 200 hitter. He's not going to be that for the rest of his career. He just needs a little bit more confidence. I think it's mental, and the shoulder's really bothering him.
Yeah, and speaking, well, I agree with that as well. There's no way he's gonna hit. I don't think he's gonna hit 200 for the rest of his career. It
No.
doesn't really make sense. And speaking of that, I'll pop this up here. This is obviously his Baseball Savant page. I want to focus more on the 2022 hit spray chart to the right. As you can see, majority of his hits were pulled, and a couple tweets, and there was a lot of people talking about how the shift may have affected Cody Bellinger, and how it is gonna, now that the shift's being banned next year, how his average might go up a lot. And I believe there was a tweet. I didn't double check the analytics. Obviously, I didn't have time to do that today, but apparently he would have hit something like 240 or 250 had the shift been banned. So if that's the case, if you can get Cody Bellinger hitting 250 for the Blue Jays with his elite glove, that is just unbelievable. And he'd probably put up a WAR, wins above replacement, similar or better than Teoscar Hernandez. And that's what the conversation was on Twitter today, just because of the defense alone. And what are your thoughts on the spray chart there? And obviously his Baseball Savant things were really bad, besides his outs above average, which was phenomenal. But I don't want to put too much into that right now, just mainly the spray chart.
Yeah, I tend not to put too much stock into Baseball Savant. I mean, it favors guys with tools, favors guys with power, guys that throw hard. And if you don't really fit that mold, then you won't look too great in the advanced metrics, but it doesn't really measure your winning plays and all that. But if we take a look at Cody Bellinger's spray chart, the guy's been in a slump. He's been in a slump for the past 2 seasons now. But that's how baseball is, when stuff's not going right, you just feel lost at the plate, and whatever you try, it just doesn't work out for you. But I think a change of scenery with a team like the Blue Jays, with a lineup like the Blue Jays, with their track record of really helping guys turn it around, will take 240, will take his elite defense, will take his elite power, very similar to a Matt Chapman type player, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Especially people out there are saying, like, please don't let Bellinger be the replacement of Teoscar Hernandez, which is fair given his past couple of years' performance. But hopefully, and the front office is hoping on a mix of a few things, a mix of a change of scenery, banning of the shift, and hopefully maybe they see something in him that could turn around his swing, maybe edit his swing a little bit. But he's done it before, so you like to think there's no reason that he couldn't do it again. Maybe not. Well, probably not the MVP. But again, 250 league average hitter would be unbelievable. And yeah, the banning of the shift will almost certainly have a positive effect on Cody Bellinger, just like strictly based off his prior year's spray chart. So I don't know. It's definitely intriguing. The question is, if that's the only outfielded / left-handed bat move, is it enough? I don't know. And you're taking a huge risk if that's your only move.
Well, I don't know if it's a huge risk considering you won't have to pay him that much money and he only wants a 1-year deal. I think it's a like medium risk, potentially very high reward, but it could also blow up in your face too. So that's another thing that you got to monitor. You can't just go into the season with Cody Bellinger as your starting center fielder and not have a backup plan over there. So I don't think it takes them out of the Nimmo sweepstakes. I think they have another chance to add a potential guy there, but it's definitely he's not getting enough credit for what he's done in the past, and he's still only 27 years old. Cody Bellinger's a good player. He just needs another opportunity, and in this Blue Jays lineup, he'll be one of the only left-handed bats, so he'll have a chance. He'll have a chance to face a lot of righties and make a name for himself once again.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm as sold on him as you are, as high on him as you are, but if he comes to the Jays, I'll be his number one fan for sure. And I guess the risk I meant was more in the sense of we're giving up a year of competitiveness if he ends up being our only
Yeah.
move and he blows up. But obviously, I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting. We're still, rumors are still out there about us getting Nimmo. I don't know if it's gonna be an exciting offseason. They could go ahead and sign both of them and then trade Lourdes, and then we'll have an outfield of Springer, Nimmo, and Bellinger, which I don't know how. That would be crazy. It's kind of just, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
Bellinger's an
You need
interesting
another
name.
option.
Yeah, you do need another option, and
You
hopefully
you
they have a
can't go
backup.
in with just those 3. You can't do it. You
No,
can't.
and you can't. I wouldn't like our fourth to be Jackie Bradley Jr. for example either. I think you'd want one a bit more, proven at the offensive level recently. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I think that'll wrap up this Bellinger video. Be on the lookout for another one because signs are pointing towards him wearing a Jays uniform next season, and I won't be mad about it. I won't.
Yeah. As soon as the news, if it drops, we'll make sure to have a video reacting to it and discussing all that. But sports been unbelievable. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you tomorrow.